What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, Am I Grown Yet? This is part 2 of our conversation with my guest, Chris, as you guys met in the last episode. So last episode we talked a little more. We pretty much gave an introduction of what we're going to be talking about, but in this part we want to go more in depth about people who contribute to mind, body, and soul. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Like I was saying to you off camera, I think it's super important now that you're in this newer part of your life to have surrounding people who are contributing to your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health. So like, who for you is doing that? Is helping you in your corner with that?
I got a couple of people in my corner. I got some very close friends that I love dearly. One of my best friends named Randy. He's a great guy. When I first met him, I was like yay high. So it's just kind of funny because we played football together in high school, went to school together. So we kind of just grew up for a very long, living a block away from each other as well. So he's always been somebody that I can always rely on for any type of situation. His nickname is Uncle. So he's always there for everybody. So just to see the growth for myself and then for him to also kind of document it. If I need someone to record me real quick, we can do that. If I need someone to come to the gym with me, we can do that. So it's kind of you need somebody that's always right next to you that can kind of give you that balance and kind of if you got something in your mind you want to talk about, you could bounce it off of him and then see what he goes. My girlfriend, of course, is my number one supporter. So that's you need a number one supporter. If you want to make this thing work, you need somebody that's actually gonna believe in you. And when I first started training, very funny story, and you're like this, so I'll spill the tea. But anyway, if my ex is watching, don't kill me, don't be upset. She was good at everything, but I'll tell you this. So there's one time I had this conversation with my ex, and I wanted to start training people. And the comment that she made to me was, you can't train anybody until you can't train any females until I start losing weight. And it was kind of it was one of those you don't want me to expand or grow because you're insecure.
Ooh.
And it was something that we was dealing with for a very long time. And she didn't like the attention I was getting when I was losing my weight as well. And we even talked about it recently, and she's grown from that. We had a great conversation. But long story short, it was funny because at the moment, I didn't know what I really wanted or needed in a woman, but it was kind of once I was able to get out of the situation, the first thing I thought of was that I need somebody who's not going to feel insecure about this, because I want to train people and help people lose weight, change their body. So I need somebody who's going to be there and not care or look at me like, oh, he's a dog. And personal trainers have a reputation to be, not the best guys, you know what I'm saying? To all my personal trainers, yeah, y'all good, but you know how it is. So if I'm training females all the time and I have an ex who doesn't like that, I'm not going to make any money. It's not going to work out. It's always going to be something there. So with my new girl, she allows me to train, of course. And since day one, it became one of those situations that, why would I stop you from making money, or stop your business or stop your hustle? This is your passion. I know what your heart is, I know what your soul is. You're not trying to do it for any crazy, crazy ways. So just do what you do and you'll be fine with that. So when you have somebody that has your back in that situation, you're kind of golden. I got a great family who always support me whatever I do. They always tell me and tell all of my big Haitian family, hey, Chris is selling the shirt, Chris is doing this. So just having family, friends, girlfriend, even my dog. Sometimes get up early in the morning, I'm about to go for a run and or go work out. She wants to come too, and she'll run with me. So it's kind of all right, make it a game. So just having any type of support factor or any type of family, it takes a village pretty much. So for me, it takes a village. It may look like one person in CNG Fitness, but it's a whole village as well. So
I think it's super important to have, if not a group of people, at least one person in your life that's supporting you. Because one thing that I find to be like completely disturbing is having someone, whether it's your significant other, a family member, or even just someone in your friend group who kind of doesn't see your vision, they don't understand it, and they're also someone who is very insecure. I find it so hard to make any move, like any bit of growth, if you're dealing with someone who's insecure. And for me, I find that, you know, me being in a relationship now, like my boyfriend, he's super supportive. Like he even has like the podcast info in his bio sometimes. Like when it's time for the episodes to come out, like he'll put it in his bio and stuff. And this is without me even asking him to do it. Like he does, you know, stuff that's important to me, and I find that like so amazing because I don't sense like any jealousy. It's like, even though I'm doing this,
he wants the best for you.
Yeah, it's like it's just being there, and it isn't. And for me, it's never been something where I felt like, you know, I've never been the type who I would want like my significant other to be like, you know, just putting all his money into stuff, blah blah blah. Like if you want to do that, do you? But like just to support, like I'm so big on support. Like I'm super big on support. And as far as like friends go, like as I said, me doing this podcast and me being in this part of my life now, like there are people who I'm no longer like in contact with as much. The friendship hasn't like broken off or anything. It's just not as it was.
It's insane.
Yeah, and it's not like it's like any hatred or anything like that. It's just I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like there aren't I don't have friends who support me, because I do have people who, you know, they contact me, they reach out to me, like people who I don't even expect to reach out to me, like, and they tell me like, you know, you're doing your thing, whatever. So to that extent, I definitely do have people. And then like as far as family, like, so here's the weird thing about like me having a podcast and then also having a family who don't really understand why I even have a podcast. So it's like they support me, and it's like when it first came out,
it's like half-hearted.
It's like enough for it to be like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I tell grandma, you know, you're doing that podcast thing. You know? It's like that, but it's like
they don't understand it.
Yeah, they don't get the vision as much as I do, which I'm fine with. It's just, you know, the support I appreciate. Like I said, I'm big on support. So in this transition and in this shift, I do definitely think that it's important to have someone in your corner. And yeah, someone who, and it's a good feeling. Like I feel like in this day and age, I don't know if it's because of social media, but I feel that like a lot of people are so comfortable with saying like, you know, I don't need anybody. I'm good by myself. You know, like I'm alone or whatever, and that's all good in the moment. But it's like when you're having those days where you're like super low and you kind of lose sight about why you're even doing what you're doing. Like when you lose sight of your why, you need to have somebody that's gonna remind you like, yo, like did you forget you just did this last time? Like, no,
see, that's the thing about like my girl now. Like I'm gonna give her a little shout out. Love you, girl. So the great thing about her is that when we first got together, so side note, in May, you know, I'm 25 years old. It took me a while, but I'm actually getting my associate's degree in May. So like it's a great feeling to like kind of like graduate. But when I first got with her, she was starting her master's program. So it's like Chris has his business. Chris is doing his training. He's doing his thing. But financially and education, I'm here. You know, she's there with it. So I kind of felt a little like, oh, I need to catch up. You know, I need to kind of like move up and do my thing. So it was great because like when you have somebody who's working hard and like sacrificing and like every day putting in the work, and you're seeing that. I would see her sometimes like do papers all throughout the night. Like I'll wake up in the morning and there's 15 pages there. Like how the hell did that get there? You know? So just seeing that, it motivated me a lot to like, one, be on my A game when it came to school. Two, you know, you were talking about like your website. I was like, oh yeah, I need, like, the next thing for me is to get a website. Like she's been harping on me for a long time to do that. Whenever there's a video that I post, she reposts it. like you said, without even that conversation, like she just does it.
She wanted to do. She wanted to be there.
She always wants me to like excel. Like her nickname is like management. Like every time like something's going on, she's always like right there. So it's kind of like, having her is kind of like having like, a right hand, left. It's like having like an extra person that is looking out for you. So if you have somebody that's there, it can be a mom, it could be a brother, sister, cousin. If you have somebody that actually has your back, like you're already ahead of the game. Because a lot of people don't have that. So it's like, I know that I'm that person for a lot of people as well too. I got a little cousin who, he's not that little, he's taller than me. He's 6'4", plays basketball, just graduated in 3 years from Temple. And he's pursuing his NBA career. And it's a great feeling because like, he asked me, can we train? Can you help me like for the NBA draft? And I said, of course. Like I'm actually able to use my talents, use like the things I've learned from just weight loss to now apply it to different places that I never thought I could even get to. And from there, have younger guys come in. Hey, I see what you did for your cousin. Can you also train me? And like, it only started because I wanted to lose weight for myself. And now from the people I come in contact with, I'm able to get more notoriety and actually go to different places that I never thought I could even like reach. So I think that's the benefit of having people right there in your corner.
I want to touch on something that you just said.
What's up?
Being the strong friend. So for me, I feel that I'm that person to a lot of people in my life, and it's exhausting.
Oh yeah.
It's super exhausting because like I was saying before, like it's super important to have people in your life who are going to be there when you do have those low moments. But like just to go back to like what we were talking about in the first half of this episode, you had to overcome like dealing with people who were used to you being in this old body, this old mental state and stuff. And it's like now you being where you are, like what did you do to get out of that situation when you did feel a low point and you did feel like, yo, like I don't, like, who am I going to go to talk to about me feeling low when I'm the one people come to when they're feeling low? How does a strong person, like, who does this strong person go to? Like, for me, all that I've been able to do is, like, of course, like I said, you guys, I'm a very spiritual person. Like, I'll pray about it. I'll write in my journal about it. But it's like, I can't go to me. Who am I going to? So what do you do?
Okay, so it's funny. Like I have a lot of ways to deal with stress. I have a lot of ways to deal with issues that this goes on. Number one, I would definitely say that working out definitely helped me a lot. Just exercising or boxing. That was another thing that helped me like lose weight. Whenever I was able to kind of like face problems or get really stressed, whenever I would exercise, it would kind of like put me in a place where I don't have to think about anything. Like I just gotta think about the next rep or think about the next minute or like, think about the next like set. Like I'm just kind of focused on one thing. So by the time I have to kind of face anything else, my mind's kind of clear. But whenever I had to face the actual like stresses of dealing with individuals who didn't understand me or didn't understand what I was doing or why I was doing it, it became kind of tedious at times just because like you don't want to conform yourself to somebody's like opinion where you should be, So the way I would look at it is like this. Everybody that I've come into contact with, they know my personality. So already if they see that I'm acting a little different, it's not like a bad thing. It's just that what role is Chris playing today? Like who is this version of like CNG? Or there's a difference between like Chris and like CNG. Like Chris is a very fun person, like a great guy, like great personality. CNG is like I'm trying to train, I'm trying to work out, I'm trying to do this. So like you said it before earlier, like it's all about balance. So the thing is, I've had a lot of friends who've had a lot of like heartbreaks and things that happened this year, like close friends. One of my best friends lost his son this year, and that was a very crazy time. And that was also my godson too. So it was kind of like it's crazy to think about it, but life is so short. I don't stress about things too much. Like my girlfriend sometimes stresses about some things and she's like, how do you just keep it all cool? I'm like, we're living on a rock. in the middle of a universe, going God knows where, just like spinning all around, and like we don't know where we came from before we were born. Like if you're a religious person, like like I believe there's a God. I believe that there's like an afterlife, and my own like spiritual opinion. So the thing is like there's so many things going on. I try not to stress about everyday life stuff, and the thing is, I normally, and it's worked for me so far, because it's like as long as I can focus on what actually makes me happy, what's gonna get me positive, what's gonna make me more money, what's gonna keep my family happy, keep everyone nourished. If I can focus on those things, then I'm fine. But if I'm focusing on all the negatives or what people think about me, then it's gonna put me in a place of like I can't take it. So it's like I understand where you're coming from, because I was there before too. But when you have people who see that and they understand that Chris is a hard worker and he doesn't kind of care about too many things, people start to realize that you kind of can't bring me down. So it's like, what are we going to do about it on our own personal level? So that's how you do it.
I feel like for me, as far as the whole strong friend thing goes and like needing to have that strong friend, I think I'm at the point in my life now where I just kind of find comfort in my situation. So like if I am having a bad day, I'm allowing myself to have a bad day. And I know that that's like controversial, because it's like, on the same tone of what you just said, it being a short life to live and you have so much other things to accomplish, why dwell on that? But for me, what I've found is that when I am having low moments, those times where I kind of just try to avoid my emotions, I find that they all end up bottled up somewhere. And it takes that one person or that one thing, and it's like this bottle of emotions. Like it could be, for an example, I remember, I think it was sometime this year, I don't know what was going on, but like I had just got anxious and I was just super on edge about stuff. And I just kept brushing it off. I didn't acknowledge it. I wasn't paying any mind to it. I was just focused on, I think I might have been still in my paralegal program at the time, but I was just focused on school. And then out of nowhere, I think I cried because I went somewhere and I think I went to the grocery store and they were out of this food that I wanted. Yeah. And I just cried on my way home because they didn't have it. But I'm like, there's no way I'm sitting here crying that they ran out of this.
You was crying about everything else.
But then I realized, I'm like, it was other stuff, backed up stuff that I didn't acknowledge. So where I am now is kind of like, as far as my mental, I'm acknowledging, like if I'm sad, like I'm letting myself be sad. And I don't dwell on it long. I don't take the whole day to be sad, but if I'm upset about something, I'm letting myself be upset. If I'm happy, I'm enjoying the moment. And I say this to my boyfriend sometimes too, because like the type of people that we are, me and him, we just like very future, like we always talk about the future, we always talk about like what we want, things like that. And it's like sometimes we lose track of where we are now. And that's kind of like been where I am. So it's just kind of like, even when I'm happy, live in my moment. If I'm sad, live in my moment. It'll pass, obviously, but just allow that moment to happen, and that way when it's time to move on from the situation, it's not like you're bringing it with you.
See, I will agree 50% with that.
And why is that? Why is that?
So this is how I break it down, right? I have no problem with crying. I'm a man, I'm a male, I'm a guy, I'm a water sign, I cry, I have no problem with that. But I kind of like, just like you said, it's going to pass. But how long are we going to allow it to pass? So that's to me like where we differ a little. So like, for instance, for me, when I'm facing a situation like when my godson passed away, it was a very stressful situation because I had to now consult my best friend with this. I had to like think of like death again. Like I don't like to think of death too many. Like a lot of people don't like to think about it, but like it's a natural part of life. But at the same time, it's like when you're faced and have to think about it, it's like you start thinking about your own, and you start thinking about your family.
Yeah, and then everybody's gonna die.
It's all the negative things. So for me, there was so many things I was going through, but I had to think to myself in that moment, I think that I'm going through a lot, but my best friend is going through more. So I understand that there's some days there's going to be a very bad day, but there's other people who are going through worse days. So that's the way that I live my life, by saying that I may be stressed about not having enough money in my account, or like a bill needs to get paid, all this stuff. we're going through one of the craziest pandemics right now at this time. There's people who are on unemployment and who don't even have like enough money to pay for rent or for like housing and or food or like take care of their children or pay a car bill or whatever. And the thing is, I'm stressed. Like why? Like that's kind of like the way I look at it. I'm like, I need to just count my blessings. And sometimes people count their blessings. They thank God when good things happen. But I thank God like every day. Sometimes like every morning I wake up and this touches like on my soul a little bit that I feel as though that I have like angels that's like family members who've passed, who I've gotten a lot of like life lessons from. And the thing is, I feel as though that one day, for instance, it all bottled up. I'm driving on like Route 22, about to go to the gym, and like for some reason there was some nice clouds, and I started thinking about some of my family members that passed, and then all the memories and all the moments that I've shared with them, like I've started to realize that they help shape the person that I am today. Like little things that like, wow, I didn't think about that, or wow, like, you know, I got my entrepreneurial like shit from my aunt. She used to do flea markets all the time. So I seen this since I was like 4 years old, the art of selling. And I never like looked at it until like, wow, that was the first time I actually seen like transactions and people making money. And then I thought of like my uncle who showed me like different history channels, and I'm a big history buff, and I was like, hey, that's where I got it from, because I used to watch when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and all these things kept coming in. And then like I just was like balled up crying, like, whoa, what am I like I don't like mourn like this is so weird for me to do, but it was such a like great thing to do, because you're able to take in that chapter. Like you said, you need to kind of you can't ignore your emotions. You want to like kind of soak in it if you need to, but at the same time, it's not gonna ruin my whole day. That's me. Like I can't let something that happened to me at 3 o'clock still affect me at 7. Like I have to keep moving forward, because like I just can't waste the whole day. That's how I am.
And that's just to go back to, I don't know if it was the first episode. I think it was the first episode of this month for New Balance. I was talking about the power of the mind. I don't think people understand how powerful our minds are.
Oh God.
And even being this age of 24, and I know there's so much more of the world that I haven't seen, and so much other thoughts I haven't even thought of yet. But it's like, I don't even remember what part of my life or what day it was when I had this thought, but I'm just like, yo, me sitting thinking about a negative thing is my choice. Me thinking about something positive is my choice. Me sitting here sad about something not going the way I want it to go is my choice. And once I started to just allow that to marinate in my mind, it was like I was gaining this kind of power that I never felt before. And I was just like, yo, so let me try to think about nothing but positivity. Of course, like life hits you. Like you wake up, you could probably, the night before you'll say like, you know, tomorrow I'm gonna have an amazing day. You wake up and you're
snow's on the ground,
like something stupid happens.
Cut,
like you thought you had eggs in the fridge and they're expired. Like just something stupid happens. And it's like,
how would this story walk today?
It's just life. And it's like when I was kind of understanding, you know, life and understanding that, you know, life's gonna happen, everything's not gonna be 100% positive, everything's not gonna happen. I kind of got like this sense of reassurance, and I became more lax. But it's just kind of like you can never be too prepared for stuff.
No.
And it's like for me being like this huge perfectionist and wanting to be like, my boyfriend jokes about this with me all the time, because I'm always like this person who needs everything to be perfect, like down to a T. I need it to be perfect, but it's like it's life. It can't be that way. And what I'm also learning is that there's beauty in even the negatives that happen. There's beauty in it all, and it's like, you know, as far as like my mindset goes, when things happen, I literally look at it, even if it's something bad, I just take it on the shoulder as a lesson. Like if I didn't get that promotion, or if this relationship with my family didn't work out, or if I don't have this amount of money, it's for a reason. Like it's all for a reason. You have to look at it like that. And it's funny because when I first started like losing the weight, it was just funny because I've seen the documentary. I've seen like the What the Health documentary of going vegan before, like the actual like picture on this, like on Netflix. But what made me that day, as I'm eating like fast food, some Chinese food, to
press OK on Netflix to watch that video? Like what was the spark? Something in my mind, or something that I've seen earlier of like just me being desperate, me always having anxiety, like I'm tired of living like this, you know, that drove me to like, I'm willing to try something. When I watched the video, I'm able to say to myself, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go for it. I was able to take that opportunity and then just nail it. Going from there to like this point now, it took a lot of growth, a lot of like the journey was mental, like you said. When you put your mind to something, it's going to happen, because I didn't think I was going to lose 130 pounds. And honestly, like, I started at 367. My goal is to be 167 pounds down, to be at a 200. Like, and every day, even like after I lost the weight, became like a trainer, I became kind of like comfortable. So like the mindset that I had, being so hungry to lose the weight, I started to become very relaxed. And the thing is, when you have like COVID, you're even more relaxed, because like everybody, there's no gyms open. You just could just chill, hang out.
That's my excuse. I can't go.
That's how it was to everybody. And at least for myself, I started seeing that there were so many people who were doing like home workouts and stuff. And I said, you know, if there weren't gyms anyway, you still got to work out. I started doing videos and working out, and people were like, yo, like, this was the motivation I needed, because I was just at home gaining weight. And you see the people, I'm not gonna call nobody names, but you see the people that like they come out of nowhere, and you looking at them like, that's that quarantine weight, you know what I'm saying? So like, I didn't want to be one of those people, and I actually became one of those people without even like realizing it, because like, you could put on weight faster than you can lose it. And like, you could always throw on a hoodie or throw on a sweatshirt or something on, just so like you could kind of hide it. But then when you hop on that scale, it's gonna tell you everything. And like, you know, deep down, like, I haven't been to the gym as consistently. I've been eating trash consistently. Like, you just know that. So when you're able to stop that mindset, stop the bleeding, and actually like heal the wound, now you're able to like go on with your way and like actually make that transition. So it's all mental, because if you don't allow yourself to realize, yo, I messed up, now you need to first mess up, realize you do it, admit it. It's kind of like they always say, like the first rule of acceptance or like drug abuse is like when you actually admit you have a problem, or like a gambling problem. Hey, listen, I know I was a fat guy. I was eating a lot. I was just doing like the worst. And you know, to everybody who's like struggling, like losing weight, you know, you can do it. Like, it wasn't that hard for me. It's about staying disciplined, and that's the thing. If you can stay disciplined, stay consistent, you can do it. You're going to, every day is like you get a new 24 hours every day. Anyway. What are you going to do in this 24 hours that was different from the last 24 hours? And if you're able to make that next step or that next day even better than yesterday, and you keep that consistent, then you're going to lose the weight. And eventually, within 3 months down the road of you not doing anything, you would have been this way. 3 months down the road of you actually making a change, now you're here. Now, instead of 3 months, do it for 6. Instead of 6, do it for 12. Instead of 1 year, do 5, and then go from there.
I think what's most important about what you said, I mean, everything was important, but I would say the acceptance part, and that was what I talked about in one of my last episodes, is that once you take accountability and you accept where you are, it kind of gives you room, gives your mind room to be able to figure out what's next. Yeah. Because if you have no sight of where you are, if you're not conscious of what's been going on with you, whether that's your accountability from someone else telling you about yourself, or just you know, looking at where you are in life, you know? So I feel that accountability is super important. I think that accepting your situation is kind of like that bridge to get you to where you need to go next. And that's really, I think that's super important. Yeah. But I thank you for coming on today's show.
I appreciate you for having me.
Definitely have to have you back for another segment.
Listen, I'm always here. I'm always around. Listen, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that.
You know me, I got to plug myself all the time. So listen, CNG Fitness _. You can look at this shirt. You could also buy a shirt as well. CNG's Fitness sweatshirt's only $30 right now. We're trying to take over. And again, if you ever want any personal training or any workouts, Zoom, or even online coaching, listen, again, I lost 130 pounds, so I think I know something. So if you guys need any help, make sure to DM me, email me, and please subscribe to this amazing girl's channel. Like this is.
So like you said, you need to subscribe. So if you aren't already, make sure you like, share, subscribe. That's what the YouTubers say, right?
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Like, share, subscribe.
Repost, all that. Tell your family.
All that stuff. Make sure you guys are following the Instagram page. I'm pretty sure a lot of you came here from the Instagram page, but if you aren't following it, it is am_IGrownYet. So am_IGrownYet. The website is AmIGrownYet.me. And then, you know, it is the last episode of the month. So I want to thank each and every last one of you guys for tuning in. Some of you have been around since the first podcast point of view before the revamp of Am I Grown Yet? And I thank you guys so much for your support. The last video discussion that we did with the panelists, you guys said that you would like to have video. So your girl delivered this time. This is the last episode of the month, of the year. So I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas. I hope you guys have an even better new year. And we'll be back next month, next year with a new topic, new ideas, and more people as a guest. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. Deuces.